Thank you for turning to page 121. Today we're going to take a look at Rim Expeditions from Mongoose Traveler for the second edition. This is out, as of the publishing of this video, it's out about 10 days. It's available in PDF. It'll be available as a print copy in January of 24. But right now we're going to take a look at the PDF, which is what I've bought, and we're going to see what's inside and whether you should throw it onto your library or not. Also, just a quick word, subscribers, please, I want to see the channel continue to grow. Also, take a look at the Patreon. That slipped a little bit lately. I'm not sure why. If there's anything you can do to help out there, I try to keep the channel growing that way and get things like this so I can review them. And I'm looking to get some equipment and a backdrop. So anything you can contribute to help, even if you join for a month, watch the videos I have there and then drop it. That's fine. But that's it. That's the end of the commercial. Back to the important stuff at hand. Rim Expeditions for Traveler from Mongoose Traveler, second edition, today on page 121. Rim Expeditions. This just came out about 10 days ago as of the publishing of this video from Mongoose. It's for second edition, and it is written by Martin J. Doherty. This follows up the 2021 book, the Solomani Front, which I looked at a few weeks ago on the channel. So that's basically about the Solomani area, which interacts directly with the Imperium, and this area goes further rimward or south of that. And this is a pretty nice book. I enjoyed it. Martin J. Doherty always writes a nice book, very solid. We get some stuff on Traveler Map, which I'll get into in a little bit, and we get the introduction of what the rim run is. The Solomani basically had the same problem that the Imperium had. There was no frontier to expand. They had neighbors on all sides but one. For the Solomani, that is to expand to rimward. For the Third Imperium, of course, the expansion was in spinward marches. So we find out about the Solomani, and Martin goes to a great deal of trouble to point out that these are not cookie cutout bigots that you can just run in your game like that. They're people. They all have different vagaries of personality. They are individuals, so using just one broad stroke to cover them all would not be fair. I agree with that. I've never played the Solomani as the racist superior race that they're brought out, especially in the older Traveler stuff. So they talk about the outward urge, the early Terran exploration, which of course led them running into the Zero Circa, first interstellar expeditions, exploration of the Imperium, once they met the Imperium, exploration exodus in the long night, and exploration in the Imperial years, exploration in post-Imperial years. Confederation exploration policy. They don't have a scout service. The Confederation uses their Navy to do it. And of course, there is a Solomani security officer active with them in the exploration. But they go to, Martin goes to points in this book to point out that Solsec are not the evil political masters aboard ship. Sometimes they're the cruise directors. They set up fun things for the crew to do to help keep off boredom. I thought that was an interesting take. I had never really considered that, making them a cruise director as such, but he doesn't call them that in the book, of course. But I do. I thought it was kind of funny. And then we take a look at internal and short-range exploration, and then coreward and trailingward exploration, and then the exploration process. The exploration process is where this book kind of comes into its own. It gives us a nice look at how you do exploration in unknown space in Traveler. Now, some of this was touched on in the Great Rift and Deep Night Explorations, and the book, this references us to that, but it has its own additions to that process. So we got to look at the planning preparation phase, the execution phase. What type of mission are you doing? Are you doing a rapid advance, standard advance, exploratory advance, and then by your speed of advance? One thing, the old Star Trek show Voyager drove me crazy. They were heading home, and oh my gosh, it's going to take us 70 years to get home. We're so far away from home. But they stopped off to look at everything that looked interesting along the way. You're not going to get home if you keep stopping at every Stuckey's on the way. You've got to just kind of put the pedal to the metal and go. Always drove me crazy about that show. But we go into details here. Exploring a system. Are you supposed to explore the systems? Are you supposed to make contact with the alien races that are in the area, or possibly humans that have lost contact with the Solomani Sphere? Follow-up. Are you setting things up for follow-up? And then with the universal research mechanic. This is pretty nice. As you're doing your research for your exploration and during the exploration, you can gather up the background information, any unique information, research and theoretical work, and then do a remote reconnaissance, preliminary survey investigation, and then you go detailed and do more research. And then you have something called the Breakthrough Index. The Breakthrough Index is pretty cool. It's a good way to quantify how your group is role-playing what they're learning. You have a chart here, and this section gives you ideas on how to build on this and where you end up on the chart. But the chart starts all the way from basic information, or breakthrough index 0, which is no knowledge, no data, and no scientific investigation, all the way up to a 12 plus, which gives you deep knowledge, detection of rogue cometary bodies, and pretty much everything there is to know on the subject. And you get to use the system to have your players find their way through what they're exploring. I thought this was a really nice touch. I like this. This is one of the main things I liked about the book. And it goes into great detail on how to use that system. I will absolutely be using it. And you don't have to make it just dice rolls. You can build the information into your game as your players are exploring, and then use this breakthrough index to help you quantify that. Long duration starship operations. This is pretty nice. This gives you an idea of how you can operate your starship away from a base for a long time. Star system generation, never a bad thing, and it gives you some different ways to look at it. A cursory glance. Do we want to know if there's star giants present? If there's a main world, you want to generate other bodies, but we don't really care. We care that there is some refueling points, that is the gas giants, and that the system is otherwise usable. But if we don't really care how many is, we count how many planets and we go on our merry way. And then we get down to planetary environments and talks about different planet types you can run into. Rock ball environments where there's no real atmosphere. Ice ball environments where it's very cold with no atmosphere, some atmosphere. High gravity environments, aquatic and fluid environments, exotic atmosphere environments, which could be carbon dioxide heavy, nitrogen heavy, or methane heavy. And again, I love this stuff about the atmospheres because in Early Traveler, that was one of the main frustration points. Other than a great little supplement in Journal of the Traveler's Aid Society number 17, there wasn't a ton to be found in Traveler about exotic atmospheres. Irritant and corrosive atmospheres, insidious atmospheres. Finds and points of interest. And again, you get a nice chart and you throw 2 dice 6 and you get some stuff in the system that might be of interest to you. So it's a good way to generate just a thumbnail sketch of the system. You could certainly generate a more detailed system. I know from personal experience when I'm doing any kind of long range something or other, I just do the bare bones for the areas I don't expect them to spend any time, simply because I don't want to burn myself out creating all these planets they never bother touching. On the other hand, more than once, the players have stuck it to me by going ahead and exploring that strange old planet over there. And now I've got to come up with some stuff on the fly through the game and then flesh it all out between games. But that, again, that's a good problem to have. So we get the information here. And then we get aliens and populations. Are they new starfaring race? Are they a race that have lost, humans that have lost connection with Solomani? Meeting the people. Are we going to go down and talk to them, or are we just going to leave that for another mission? The close Rinward region, it shows areas right there along the Solomani Sphere. And then we come down here. An interesting thing I thought is, this is off Traveler Map, we have Ruthless Vale down there. Ruthless Vale is a sector that was done by a fan and was, I don't know, semi-official. I did a video on it in October of last year. And I took a good deep look at Traveler Map and Ruthless Vale. And I was really excited to see Ruthless Vale here in this offering. So you don't get a ton of information on Ruthless Vale, but there it is officially in a Traveler product. I thought that was outstanding. So then we get the system data, and then we get an example, the Lubbock Enclave. And then we take a look at the Horden subsector. And now there's the map of it, and Hallstatt, and Adventures in the Lubbock Enclave. And then we look at crews. Again, Mongoose, if you're listening to me, please make some kind of discount deal or something where you can decide to buy something on PDF and then later go back and get some kind of benefit for buying the hardcover. And then we take a look at something mysterious called the Hordes. They may not even be sentient. And then we take a look at the Atoms subsector. And it's A. And this is kind of neat because now we have the B subsector, the Barat subsector. All of these are named for the alphabetical place they have on the sector map. So we have the Chase subsector for the C, going down to Drower subsector, and the Eberhardt subsector. Nice artwork throughout this, by the way. Nice mood-building artwork. We have the French subsector for F. And we have the Gower subsector for G. Oh, Mr. Gower. The Hagen subsector. I was really curious about what they were going to do with the I subsector. I was hoping for Ivan, but I got Ivy. And then continuing on. Sorry about that. We get Ramek, an alien race, and here's some information on making Ramek travelers. And an interesting look at a Ramek interstellar vessel created at tech level 8. We get the Jane subsector, Kane subsector, Lumala subsector, Mullings subsector, Nazi subsector, Osthoff subsector, and the Plantneva subsector. So it's kind of neat. I always love a good subsector book. It's neat to be getting so many of these. And I want to say I mentioned the Solomani Front book earlier. This is a great companion piece to it. I have a feeling some of the stuff that's in this book was developed when the Solomani Front book was being put together. And there was enough of it that they went ahead and they assembled another book. By the way, I'm all for that. I love going to places in Traveler we haven't been before in any real detail. Also, even though I have no immediate plans to set anything in the Solomani subsector or rimward of Solomani, Solomani Sphere rather, or rimward thereof, I still found this book very useful. Anything Traveler is fun to read, and then you just get ideas and you steal the ideas. I mean, do I say steal? I mean borrow. Everything I DM or GM is original. Ha ha, he said with a laugh. So there we get a look at Charted Space. Again, we get Ruthless Veil, which is distant rimward corridor sectors. And then we get the Zhujiang Enclave. And extremely long-range expeditions. This is pretty neat, too. And it goes into the history of the longer expeditions that have been launched from the Solomani Rim. So pretty neat. Project Perseus. Wonders and Mysteries of the Rim. So we get some nice anomalous things in the Rim, which I like. You're down deep in a stellar arm, too, when you get far enough down in the Rim. So you have a massive area of blank space between you and the next arm. And the book talks a little bit about trying to go between the two arms. So kind of neat. The Rimward Campaign. How are you going to run your campaign? Guidelines. Here's the High Guard for the Solomani. I really like all this. I like the theme, staying, they're very thematic for the Solomani. Solomani Exploration Ships and Craft. There you go. Love the top-down maps. So glad Traveler has gone back to those. There's so much better to put on the table and show your players. Exploration Vessel. This book is 162 pages on the PDF. And we're at about 153. So there you go. And the Solomani Exploration Vehicles. There you go. Nice all-terrain vehicle. Outrider Grav platform. Kind of neat. Looks like a little Grav gunship, actually. Chipmunk Personal Transport. And an index. Little disappointed there wasn't a little bit more equipment as such. Personal sensors, that kind of thing seems like a natural fit for this. But if that's my worst complaint, that's a good day. So there you have it. That's a look at the Rim Expeditions for Mongoose Travelers 2nd edition by Martin Doherty. It's available now in PDF through Mongoose's website or through DriveThruRPG. I'll put a link to both below. And this will be for sale in hardcover, or if you've ordered a hardcover, will be available in January of 2024. That's all I've got to say today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below. Please remember to like and subscribe, tell your friends, and I'll see you next time.